podcast, Staying Positive and Moving Forward. I'm Sarah Rachke. Today on my podcast, I have David Desmond.
Hello, everyone.
I look at David like a father. We met at Heritage Christian Services when I moved into Heritage Christian Services. We bonded very well, don't you think, David?
I do.
He has always been there for me, thick and thin, and he has always kept my spirits very high, right, David?
Yes. We, as Sarah said, we met at Heritage when she moved into one of the homes that we had to just support people in their needs. And, we didn't get to know each other real well initially, but over the years, and it's probably, Sarah, been 15 years or something we've known each other. Mm-hmm. And the relationship just developed, and even though I no longer even work at the agency, Sarah and I have maintained our relationship.
Yeah, a big, big relationship. Like I said, I look at him like a father, even though he isn't. But he treats me like his own daughter, and it makes me feel very loving and have a lot of spirit and have a lot of hope, which I think everybody needs in the world is a lot of hope. And it makes me, definitely feel loving inside.
Well, and one of the places, and Sarah remembers this, that, her own dad passed away quite some number of years ago. And so, I just kind of filled that role in a bit. And then at a point, she realized that my initials are Dad, D-A-D, because my middle name is Anthony. So she started calling me, oh, then you're Dad to me. And then it just went. So if at some point, even in this interview, she references me as Dad or Daddy or something, you'll understand why. So she kind of adopted me as a dad, and she takes me out for Father's Day. And
yes.
We just, go about life and take care of what we need to.
Yes, we do. It makes me feel very loving, even though I don't have a father, a real father in my life. And I'm also adopted, which is, I think, very hard and stuff like that. But I think out there to everyone, you're adopted, you have real parents, anything, you still have to keep going in life, You definitely have to keep going,
Absolutely. There's only one direction to keep going if you're going to really live and thrive. So yes, just as you've experienced, Sarah, in so many different realities of your life over the years.
I've definitely had a lot of issues, bumps and curves, but I haven't let it keep me down, as I said. Even after being ran over, like I said, that's why I've decided to have this upcoming play, and I definitely had David play a big part in it, I feel, because, I feel like this play should be based on a true story, to keep people's hopes up.
Well, I've described you as one of the most resourceful, resilient people I've ever met.
Oh, thank you.
Well, when something comes up, even though it's a hurdle to get over, you never let it stop you. You actually, and you don't even go under it or around it. You go over it and keep on going down your path.
I definitely try. I may not be able to do as much as I can right now, but I'm hoping through this recovery I'll get better. That story you told me, really kept my hopes up.
Which story is that?
The story about you having cancer and going to your mailbox and everything that you had to keep your hopes up, and you running a marathon now.
So that was, a reference to Sarah when she was really struggling with her own recovery from having been hit by the car and walking and just dealing with the pain. And so I had shared with her that, and she knew this, that I had cancer and had a bone marrow transplant. And I used to walk just the 25 feet to my mailbox from my house. I would rest before I walked the 25 feet back because I was so tired and weak and out of energy. And I shared that with Sarah to have her then realize now I run road races. So it took some time. It took some years, but the same, I believe, is true for her. And Sarah, I can tell you that I haven't ever told you this yet, but when I first saw you that first day after your accident, I actually didn't think you were going to survive. You were on a ventilator. You had casts all over. You had a chest tube.
Wow.
You were so sedated that, I don't think you even knew that I was there. And so to see you today now, what is it? It's been, 6 months, 7 months, whatever, 6 months.
Yeah.
It's amazing the recovery you've made from me thinking you weren't going to even survive to now you're back up and here you are doing this podcast.
I bless God every day. I bless the people that help me, like you and all the staff and Julie and everybody that's helped me, and the therapy that I've done. And I could have died and everything. And like I said, I'm very blessed that I am, because it could have gone a whole different way. Like I said, I have Mike there. I have so many people there to help me, and I'm very blessed I did too. Like I said, I had a couple family members I thought that came, but they never reached back out to me. But I didn't let that keep me down.
Well, and if you recall, even before that, part of why that accident happened is because you live, on your own. You have your own apartment. And if you remember, both staff at the agency and, family members didn't believe that you could ever live in such an environment on your own. They thought you were going to need, 24-hour staff available, overnights, the whole thing. And you've lived now, how long have you lived in your own apartment between all the apartments you've had?
At least 10 years.
Yeah, it's been many years now that you've had your own apartment. And, that affords you the opportunity to have your own cats, which you love. You love your kitties.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go about, having your friends and taking care of just the things you need to have social interactions with them, and just you run your own life.
Yep, and I still am trying to, even though I'm still healing and stuff like that. I could have just had, I know my stepmom, who recently doesn't love to talk to me, but I had a choice of letting her keep guardianship, but I still went ahead with you, and I got my own guardianship, and I was proud of myself for that.
Yeah, and that's a great point as well, because so Sarah's referring to the legal guardianship that was a court-appointed guardian, which was her mom for her, which was often done for people that have some developmental diagnosis. And Sarah did not like that. She wanted to be able to make her decisions like all the rest of us do for our own life as an adult. And we actually went through a court process, and it's very rare, and particularly in New York State, but Sarah's guardianship was rescinded, and she no longer has a court-appointed guardian. When did we get that? It was back in March, right? Just a couple months ago.
Yep.
That Sarah succeeded in having that rescinded in a court hearing, and she now is free, like all the rest of us, to make our own adult decisions, whether they be in our best interest or not. I get to make my own decisions, whether it's the best thing for me. Sarah was never allowed to do that, and now she is. So that's another example, Sarah, of just the resiliency and the perseverance that you have, that when you want something, you keep going for it.
I definitely do. I fighted for it for a long time, even at Hillside. I was at Hillside for years, and look at me now. I fighted my way out, and I got my first home, which was Heritage, actually, where I met you, and I fighted my way to get my own apartment and then my own townhouse. And like I said, being hit, I just don't feel like is a reason to give up.
Absolutely.
I just, like other people out there, you could get hit and then you could crump up in bed, but it's just not a reason to. There's always hope out there if you work for it, I feel.
Well, that's another good point, because I've told you this a little bit. I've shared with you that when I first saw you, I didn't think you were going to survive. And then after you did, and then when you moved to the rehabilitation facility, then I thought that you were going to just kind of let yourself go and just waste away, in a sense of not getting out of bed and not doing the therapies. And I know it was difficult because you were in a lot of pain.
Very much pain, yes.
Yeah, I was very concerned that you were going to just let yourself wither away. And now I look at you, and you're back to doing all the things that you love, and it's quite amazing, your recovery.
No, I wasn't going to do that. I got up, I walked, I did the therapy I needed to do. I went out and I did the doctor's appointments, and that wasn't even comfortable, but I was able to do that.
Yeah, and some of that, remember, it was during winter time as well,
Oh.
which made it all the worse.
Horrible. It was horrible, like I said, and stuff like that. And even having that cast on my arm, I couldn't even sleep at night. Huh. That was horrible. Huh. You know what I mean?
Well, no more of any of that.
Oh, definitely. Like, recovery has been a hard thing, and I'm sure a lot of people have other things to recover from, but out there, I just don't want people to give up, you know? I always want them to, you know, go forward with their life, you know?
Well, and if you consider, I don't know if you've shared this previously, that the car that hit you was estimated to be driving at 35 miles an hour,
Wow.
which, that's not a super high speed on a highway, but when it's in contact with a human being on a street, that's, again, miraculous that you're alive and well and doing all the things you're doing now.
Yeah, definitely. And then she was drunk, and if she was smoking and all that, that was ridiculous. Huh.
Well, it's all over now because here you are and you're moving on with your life and keeping yourself positive, as you say. And do you have some, I know you referenced the play that you're working on, but do you have some other things you want to tell people about, the things that you love doing and that you're doing to stay positive?
I'm doing therapy, definitely. Definitely, absolutely doing therapy. I'm working with my workers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, and also you have, just all the social stuff you do, right back from, like birthday parties for other people and holiday parties and theme parties. You have
my sparkling entertainment. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, your own little business that you work with to engage.
I'm hoping to
with other friends.
Yeah, hoping to get a license, but the hard part I'm thinking about that is like paying taxes or whatever you call it a month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that.
And I also think it's interesting, I don't know how much you've spoken of about your modeling work that you did, because right up until the accident, if you remember, you had like 3 goals. You wanted to be a model, so you wanted to go down the runway, showing off the clothes, and you did that twice. You wanted to be in a beauty pageant, and you did that. And then you wanted to be an actor in like a commercial, and you did that one for New York State Parks and Recreation, and you succeeded at even all of those individual goals within the modeling goal.
I did, and then I got fired for, I feel like, no reason.
Well, like you said, everything isn't always happy and celebratory, but that's the whole reason for your podcast here, that even though that then ended at a point, you picked yourself back up and you're still doing the great things that you're doing. Yes,
definitely. That's definitely absolutely true. Like, it may have ended with that, but that doesn't mean I can't continue. That is very absolutely true. I definitely agree with that. Thank you very much for joining us, David. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope this inspires you as much as it inspired me the way David did.